Hey, y'all. Welcome to Funding Friday. My name is Keandra Ward. I am the founder and owner of the KWI Collective, a marketing, public relations, and media firm here in Tampa, Florida, where we do have a caveat, or I'll say a heart for funding, money, and authority. So building brand authority in the areas of marketing, public relations, media, and funding. So listen, guys, I have my amazing business partner in crime in this financial space with us today, because I know you guys have heard me and seen me post about not wanting to drive anymore. Okay. And listen, I really don't. And we're going to have that conversation. But I have financial consultant Eddie Crockett here. We are going to run the numbers. Okay. He was like, let's run them numbers. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Crockett.
Hey. What's up, young lady? How you doing?
I am great. So welcome to our Funding Friday.
Hey.
Something that I usually do in an email. And
Okay.
Fridays, I think I am going to start going live. Probably not every Friday, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But I wanted to, when we were in the comments yesterday and you said run the numbers, I was like, yeah, let's run those numbers. Let's talk about it. I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, how you do it, why you do it.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Eddie Crockett. For those of you who don't know me, social media has helped me push the idea of hashtag Bruh Finance, because church and money is kind of my makeup. And so in terms of who I am and what I do, I've always been the music and money guy. When I say church, I'm referring to worship, because that's kind of who I am and what I've done and my makeup over the years. So I specialize in all things money. And when I say that, it's specifically in the areas of real estate, life insurance, and building financial portfolios, balanced financial portfolios. And so my wife and I own an empowerment firm that we're calling Authentic You Empowerment, where we help people start where they are to get where they dream. And our whole MO is to help you get what you need to go next level in your life. So whether you're in a 5-figure place on your way to a 6-figure place, if you're on a 6-figure place on your way to a 7-figure place like we are, if you're in a 7-figure place on your way to a 9-figure place, our job is to help you go next level and get what you need to go there, to get there.
I love it. So I'm trying to get to that next level. So you're going to help me figure out what that level is, so that I don't have to drive, anymore. So y'all, let's, one of the reasons why I'm excited that we're here. One of the things that we looked at within my brand is really understanding building brand authority through your financial acumen and understanding the basis of financials, because we can put you on TV, we can get you the visibility that you need, but if the financial structure of your business is not sound, you won't be able to sustain the visibility that we're creating around it. And that's something that I found, and it took me a minute to really figure out what was missing. And so in the process of that, I connected with a company and became partners with a company to help entrepreneurs. And I shared it, posted. Mr. Crockett was like, hey, what you got going on? I saw funding, I saw money. What you got going on? And so we had the conversation. And I'm excited that him and his family decided to join us on this journey as well. And it just adds as another extension in what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So look at the financial piece of just what you do for entrepreneurs in that space. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So in terms of how we help entrepreneurs get funding, a lot of times for us, we enjoy and help people get education, because a lot of times with going next level, sometimes you got to level the playing field as far as education, because we can't move forward, right? The Bible talks about, and I'm a Jesus guy, so just so there's no confusion about that. The Bible talks about two walking together unless they agree, except they agree. So if we can't agree on what's being said and the language needed to help you go next level, then we won't have clarity. We won't have understanding. You won't be able to understand where you're headed and what's coming if you don't have the language. So we have to level the playing field in terms of the language. So we start with literacy. No matter what level of literacy you've already obtained financially, we help you get what you need for the next level. So if you're headed into a real estate space, we assess and find out where you are and kind of get you in a headspace where you can handle that next level conversation. And so then in terms of the funding piece, it's so cool because now we're literally able to help a lot of our real estate entrepreneurs get access to 7 figures worth of capital by just making sure that we make the necessary adjustments either in their personal credit, their business structure, or even their business strategy. Because sometimes people are in the wrong strategy. You're trying to produce 7 figures of wholesaling, but you don't know how to make those calls. You don't know how to market those efforts. And maybe it's a thing where we help assess the market you're in and talk about maybe you're good with veterans, maybe you're good with teachers, maybe you're good with, young, we call them young guns, but young entrepreneurs, people who have a taste for entrepreneurship out of college or out of high school. And so you have to sit down and think about those things so you can laser focus your efforts and get to the financial place where you're being a blessing and you are blessed as well.
I love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned that sometimes it's not about the money. It could be about the strategy and the way that you're operating. Correct. And I think most entrepreneurs get to that space where they're like, instead of looking at the strategy, they change the business altogether, right?
Yeah,
so they're like, I ain't doing that no more. Well, no, maybe let's go back to the strategy. Let's change that around a little bit. And it happens so much. I get people all the time that are like, I want you to, coach us or do stuff for us or put me on TV. And then a year later, they wanted me to put me, and then a year later, they're doing something different. And I'm like, see, now if I had went through with it, people, those are evergreen. That's evergreen content in most cases.
Correct.
People are looking for you, and you're gone because now you selling shoes and you was, selling.
Okay, bikes. You were selling soaps and stuff before, so yeah, I understood.
right.
From shoes to soaps.
And then we gonna make it work too. We're gonna put a little theme to it, the transition and everything. We're gonna make the transition work. But recently, I've been in the space of realizing that I have to get a new vehicle. I don't want to. I haven't been driving. Most people don't know I haven't had a car in like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I everywhere I need to go. And I'm thankful for my family, friends, and Lyft and Uber. Okay.
Okay.
My daughter was in an accident. Yeah, my daughter was in an accident. It totaled the car. And my thought process was like, do I really need this? And at the time, most of what I do is at home. And so I don't have to be outside. I choose to be outside.
Correct.
I'm a mom's caregiver, everything like that. So, but it is wound in that time where I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing lifts. I did the Uber and the lifts. I did the Uber Black. I've been doing those things. And I'm really at that space of like, what do I do? Right. So let's talk about that. Let's start crunching these numbers. What do you think I need to consider in the space of trying to decide if I can add this into my financial budget and what, my bottom line should be?
Well, I think considering normal and all this will be based off your lifestyle, right? And this conversation is going to be so different for so many different people. But considering, I'll just say my preliminary perception of your prolific profitability, I would say that if you're living a lifestyle where, you leaving home once or twice a day, or even 3-4 times a week, it's just a matter of running those numbers. So I think one of the things that I was thinking about was my personal situation, right? So looking at the fact that, in the past, we've had before maybe $800-900 car payment for whatever reason. When you're coming up, you got higher payments. And so then looking at that combined with the fact that if you're going to have a car, Obama put it in place that it's the law now. You got to have insurance. So that's non-negotiable. So that has to be in there. And a lot of the insurance companies, whether you've had an accident recently or not, you're going to range somewhere between $150 to $300 a month for insurance if you're older person. And when I say older, like not a child, and you got kids you putting on there, and that's if you was just by yourself. Let's say a husband and a wife, or just a mom and a driving child. So then that's 8, that's 3, so that's 11. And then if you're driving anything that costs 50 grand or around that price, a SUV, a higher end, sedan, if you're driving Mercedes, that's diesel, so we range it somewhere between $150 to $500 a month in gas. So now we're at $1,500 right there. And we ain't talking about maintenance. We ain't talking about the tent. We ain't talking about the tent, special trips, special provisions that you need for the insurance. So with a raw $1,500, that is the equivalent of Ubering $50 a day. Jeez. Like every single day. So if you had a budget to Uber Monday through Friday of $50, you would be equivalent or less than most people who own a car right now in the country.
Wow. See, and it makes sense, doesn't it, though? Like, I want people to get it.
It's like that.
It makes sense.
Because, I mean, do you have $50 a day? The answer is yes.
Yes.
But when you say, do I have $1,500 a month to spend on a car? They're like, no, that's too much. That's too much. But you're spending it already.
You're already spending it. And
you're already spending it.
Like, I really am. Y'all don't know. This is a thing. This is a conversation. Like, literally, the guy from the car dealership and I are having a text message conversation.
Listen, I got one in my text right now too.
And he sent me the application because I even went to the space of, let me see if I can ward them off. I said, I can't come in there. Anything we do need to be done online.
Okay, for real.
I want to do as much as I can online before I walk in there. Like, all of that stuff. I have been like, and he ain't backing up. He's like, oh, no problem. The other guy was like, well, we want you to come in. I was like, I ain't coming in.
You got to test drive the car.
And then for me, I'm a stickler. Like, I liked my car.
Yeah.
So I would essentially go buy the same car. Like, I'm not trying to upgrade, downgrade. I just give my car.
Wow.
Like, I'm not even trying to do any of that. If I was to purchase a car right now, it probably, unless the numbers look real good, is going to be what I had before.
Wow.
And so I have been, talking to entrepreneurs about just lifestyle changes and what they need to incorporate in their life for this next season of their life and what works for them. My friend was like, you so bougie. It's not being bougie. It's me.
It's not.
And for me, I go to the grocery store, pick up the grandbaby to and from school, and then events. And I'm not going to an event every week. Like, I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything in between that, my friend will come pick me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not anything that. So I am really struggling with that.
And listen, and here's what I'm going to give you some information that can help with your decision.
Okay.
I had an old mentor say, you can have it all if you schedule it in, right? And that, for me, was a layered sentiment to say, if you would get organized, whatever you want in life, you can have it. And that alluded to a post that I just put up 2 days ago, where one of the hashtags in it was that there's order before increase. Like, you have to get organized before you can take on more. And so one of the things that I would say is, like, looking at just the raw math, okay? It's the fact that Ubering, if you're going and leaving for events, which most times you are, Ms. Ward, that's a cost for your business. So in my mind, if there was an allotment for, if that's an allotment, listen now. So now you're not even paying for the Uber. So now you're traveling and all your traveling costs are eliminated because you get the write-off back at the end of the year. And in terms of increasing the ability to make more money, you're sitting in the back of a car with your laptop. What do you think you're going to do with that time?
I'm telling you, the Lincoln Lawyer sold me. I watched that. The Lincoln Lawyer sold me. Okay, when I watched it, outside of him getting beat up all the time. Okay,
that part.
That watching that transition and how it made sense.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, if I'm going somewhere, unless it's just an event, a networking event, I'm either speaking, presenting, or doing something.
Correct.
So in general, my personal assistant, she does go with me, and she's usually the one driving when we go to places, right?
There you go.
And I'm reviewing the stuff. when I'm traveling, she's usually there with me doing. I mean, I think I'm almost sold. Like I am pretty much.
I told Tim, my beautiful bride, our coach, his prophet. I said, look, if it wasn't for these kids, I definitely would be considering an Uber lifestyle because, and then she had the nerve to say, well, you know, honey, you can lock in with an Uber driver and schedule them to be the consistent person.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I said, why are you telling me that? Now you're telling me that I can try to guarantee the safety of the kids and they ain't got to get up in the morning? Like, what you doing?
You can listen. I am sitting here like, all right, let me find mine. Like the other day, and I think I mentioned the guy, he had a little Tesla and he was doing, I said, so he was so sweet. Had great conversation. He made sure we were safe. I watched the way he dropped, you know what I'm saying? Like I was watching and I was like, so listen, I could lock, you can.
Yeah. Because I mean, in terms of you look at the savings, even if you were to try to go cost for cost, you'd probably be saving if you were to take that lifestyle on. But then the fact that now you're going to be making money by increasing your availability and your ability to be proficient while you travel.
So
that you know, in terms of answering that question, you know, if the math is what you need, you already decided. It's just a matter of you willing to deal with folks having a problem with your lifestyle.
Right. I think that's it right there. It's like people always talk, but again, for me, once I make up my mind, I could care less what anybody thinks, right?
Pretty
but
much.
I do
that's what it is.
I'm like, what do y'all think? And that's something that I was telling myself this morning. I'm like, why am I considering these people? Unless they're going to be paying for it, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Yeah. And it's not that I can't drive. And I drive slow as molasses. Okay. I'm not the one.
Right lane, huh?
Right lane. Accidents. I'm not the one. You can go around me and I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to cross the road till I feel safe. Like I am that driver. I'm the driver that everybody beep at. I don't care. Okay. However, I do look at just the things that I want to do in life and how can that be proficient for me and help me based off of what I'm looking to do. And I think it's a great thing. And so when we talk about, all right, so I think all right, now let me take it to God and see what he say. I did all this.
Lord, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I ain't ask God, but let me take it to him and see what he says. Now, when we look at this, even from the position of just as an entrepreneur funding and building, like I could incorporate that into my funding strategy when I'm looking for funding too, right?
Correct.
Think about it from a business perspective. If I'm using the Lyft or Uber from a business perspective, like you said, that I can put on my taxes, then that's something I can write in the cost when I'm looking for loans, grants, and funding.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so it's just a matter of, and those things more so on your balance sheet when you're assessing cash flows for funding and stuff like that, but more so the bigger impact being the fact that you literally have a set cost that's a legitimate business expense that you can write off every single month, you know, in the name of your business.
I love it. Okay. Yeah. So let's circle back. Okay.
All right. Let's go.
If I give myself $50 a day.
$50 a day.
Right. That's about $1,500 a month.
$100 a month. Yes, ma'am.
And that's it. That's the car, gas.
Correct. So the car, gas, and insurance is around $1,500 a month for most people.
And that's not including any repairs.
That's not the maintenance.
That I want the wash package because I got to get my car washed every week.
Correct.
Get my wash package. Wow.
So if you want to add that in, they're probably push it to probably $1,700 a month. Because I know we do they have a lot of car washes around where you can just kind of do the little monthly enrollment. So that's $35 or $40 there. So, you know, that's that and that now you don't have to stop because that's another increase on the time because now you don't have to stop and clean a vehicle because kids want to eat in the back or somebody else stop.
You're not gonna roll up in a dirty car if you speaking, right? I got it. I mean, it's starting to make a lot of
It's giving makes sense.
I have an event tomorrow, and I'm really thinking like I should try it out.
Let's test it out a couple days. Just test it out. See how it feels.
Really test out this theory. I'm gonna see how much it's going to cost to get there and back, and I'm gonna test out this theory because I have to speak tomorrow, so I do need to focus.
Okay.
Dang. You know.
Listen. Okay. It's a thing. Because when I mean years ago, I thought about it, and when we got Tia's car at the beginning of August, I was like, man, I really think they just need to think about this. But then, she just looks so pretty in the car, and I was like, all right, we gotta have something.
We gotta let it go.
Come up, and I probably could get to the store a lot faster than waiting on DoorDash or what's the other app for the groceries?
Instacart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't look in the store the same way I do. So, I'm going to leave that alone for now. But, for most people, it's good.
I like it. I've been doing Instacart.
Now, I like
notes in it.
My admin, he put us on Instacart this year. Changed my life. I went out of town. I had to do a 1-week trip for 2 different brands that we were interviewing for a new insurance contract that we wanted to take on and some real estate stuff. So we go up there, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like going nowhere. She's like, Eddie, just Instacart. I said, you always talk about Instacart. What is Instacart? Just tell me what Instacart. And I just sound like this old country man. I don't like Instacart is not something that's been around for years, or I'm too old to handle it, right?
Be able to
so
do
she
it.
shows me how to do it. Girl, I get to the hotel. The groceries are there.
Mm-hmm.
When I arrive, and it's a little note from the Instacart person. They didn't have this. I replaced it with this. I'm so sorry. Put a little ice cream in there. I said, ice cream.
My granddaughter the other day was like, I really like tacos. And I looked and I was like, I don't feel like leaving the house.
Yeah.
I said, you want tacos? Okay, we can have tacos. And so I put everything in the cart. Instacart has become my best friend. With or without a car, I was Instacarting. Like I was already either I was doing Instacart or pickup. Like I don't even want to go in the store.
Okay. Listen, a lot of us are there now.
Instacart is if they give you something that is not good, you just tell them and they give you your money back. They
Correct.
Give you right back. I was like,
correct.
So that part of the lifestyle, I'm already highly incorporated there.
So then you're good.
That part. I think I definitely want to look at that. And then another thing is, let's go back to just funding and financing and the business owner. And what you and I have talked about over the past month is the preparation.
Correct.
And that most of the entrepreneurs we've run into, they want funding. Who doesn't, right?
Of course.
But what we find is that either their credit is not up to par or their utilization is too high.
Correct.
Right. And so let's kind of talk about let's as we wrap up, let's kind of talk about that and how that affects the bottom line when we look in the funding space.
So a lot of times people, and it's the culture. You hear most days and most financial spaces, they're always talking about credit so tough that most of us just get inundated with what we're hearing. And that is, okay, got to get my credit. But no one's talking to you about the totality of your financial picture. And that's one thing we specialize in, to making sure that what most lenders would call the DTI, your debt to income ratio, which is a more all-encompassing picture of your financials, where what goes in and what comes out looks good, and there's a certain ratio that you don't exceed, so that you look good on paper. So a lot of times it's this portion of it that you can prepare on the business side as well, to make sure that no matter when you want to pull the trigger on a funding opportunity, you'll look your best to be able to move forward with it. And so that metric these days is somewhere below, to be absolutely beautiful, you want to be below 30% on your DTI, no matter what. Like, that's just a pretty number, where basically it means that for every dollar you make, you don't have to spend more than 30 cents. Now, that sounds very far-fetched, especially if you're a new business or you're a high cash flowing or cash moving business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just like you have to just factor that in. But again, we're talking about what's on paper. So we're talking about anything that reports to the credit bureaus, and that's mainly installment debt and revolving debt. So that's your lines of credit or anything that you borrowed and you make payments on. So as long as those things don't exceed 30 cents on the dollar for the money you're bringing in, you'll look good on paper. So when we talk about utilization, to give practical numbers, let's say your business had a $10,000 line of credit. You never want to be more than $3,000 on that line of credit, so that if you want to pull a trigger on another line, you'll be in a space where you can look the best to move forward and actually have a shot at getting the funding. But a lot of times we're not there because we got to use the money for everything in between, because, business ebbs and flows. You have down times and high times. But again, that's another reason why having help and somebody who can kind of say, what does this look like? That can kind of speak to it. One of the things that Tia was talking about in one of our kind of our check-in sessions that we have in our household was incorporating into our business the same idea, where we sit down with our business owners and do a 1-year assessment of their financials, where we look into what we would call the cycle of their business, and basically try to see what is it that's keeping them at the next level. Like, where's the pitfalls? Like, okay, why is it that every June your cash flows dip off? Why is it every fall you have this influx of cash, but then January, like, you don't do anything until March? Like, what is that? And so you have the opportunity to have somebody with sober eyes take a look at your situation and give you an opportunity to assess and reassess, so you can go next level and course correct, because you need that.
I love it. I know that in the past month or 2 months, we've done a lot of consultations with business owners, and it turns from a funding conversation to a utilization and credit conversation and a debt conversation. Like, let's get some of these things down, because it doesn't make sense to add more in funding, even if the thing about it is, even if you can get it, is it something you need right now with your utilization? Can we, work on the debt, work on what you have, and then put you in a position to really be able to utilize the funding wisely? Because most people get it and then they paying the car note and mortgages with it instead of using it
for the business. And that's the thing as well, because when we talk about business and business funding, you got to understand that those efforts and the funding conversation is undergirded by your cash flow, the amount of revenue that you generate. So if you're not focused on making more money and the ways to do that, getting more funding, it just sounds good and sounds exciting, but you're really digging a hole that you don't even want to, like, just
you have to pay it back. You have to pay it back.
Correct. Those are loans.
That's what a loan means.
Correct. A line of credit. Yes.
Yes, a line that you return back to its original owner. You go.
Correct. Okay.
So I love that. I love the fact that this is a conversation that I'm starting to have and that we're starting to have more frequently, and being realistic with business owners, because most business owners want the lifestyle, they want the funding, they want the money, but there's no strategy around it, and people are not real. And as I was explaining that, whether it's you or me, this is a safe space to really talk about what's really going on.
Yes.
We offer safe space opportunities for people. Like, I'm not in the season of the pretend. Like, I could care less about who you perceive to be online. I don't care. At the end of the day, I want to know where you are, where you're trying to go, and how can we help you get there, no matter what that looks like. I had somebody, and I asked them if I could share this testimony. I had somebody come to me 2 weeks ago, and when I tell you, like, really on the outside, everything is looking, but, and it is actually, they have the money, but here's the thing: when they were 20, they jacked up their credit.
Wow.
Right. And trying to build that back up. But now they have the finances, they have everything they need, but can't get the loan. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can see that you can pay it back. You have a great structure, but the lenders were like, nah, that score is too low. And
Yeah.
even though, so it's that caveat. So we're working on building that up so that they can get it. But that's a thing when you're not financially sound and you don't have that that upbringing of understanding financials when you're younger, but now you're in your mid 30s, going into 40, you kind of get it and you've built up your life. But then there's still, that lag when you was 20 years old playing around. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to recover. Yeah, understood.
And so we have to be at a place where we can just talk about that and correct it. Let's course correct ourselves.
Correct.
I'm telling them, this year for me has been course correction. Every area of my life where I'm like, we need to course correct so that I can get to a place of where I need to be. Because what y'all don't understand is I am retiring super early with a whole lot of money. Okay. And I'm going to be on somebody's island, Whether it's mine, I may purchase the island, or I may purchase the house that I'm on the island.
Okay. It's an island.
Yes, it's an island and I'm on it. Okay.
There it is.
That looks like. And so I've had to course correct even in my financials too. There's things that I was like, okay, can't do that no more. Can't do this. You got to get that up. All of those things. And so I want us to be real with each other. And I want us as a unit, as entrepreneurs, locally, nationally, wherever either one of us from, to come together and let's get it. Let's prepare ourselves.
Correct.
Sometimes we don't want to support each other.
Correct.
And we don't want to be real when other cultures that
work together and win. And we've had the mantra of many hands make light work around this office for at least the last 5 years, where it's like, literally, we'll walk away from any relationship or any opportunity that doesn't mirror a win-win, because it's like, why waste time? And I think that idea comes a lot from the choice to be more focused about who than what. And when I say that, it's like, if I don't know I can leave my wallet, my wife, or my kids in the room with you, and everybody be all right when I come back, like we don't need to. I don't need to. I don't care how big your name is. There's no need for me personally. So we're about running that route. And so I just think, like, kind of relating that. For me, when you talk about becoming, it's so interesting how when we were growing up and talking about budgeting and stuff like that, we're trained to think that we will create more space if we try to save more money. But there was something that it lit a fire in me about 10 years ago when I was like, you know what? I appreciate the idea of saving money and minimizing expenses, but why is my mind not on making more? Like, why does our mind not shoot to abundance? Like, there's not too many problems that making more money won't fix. And so for me, go ahead. You good. Go ahead.
The thing is we don't think about that. Like, you're trying to get loans and things and you need them.
Correct.
But use that to make more money with. Not, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Because that's a whole thing over.
No, that's it. That's literally it. It's like and that's what I was alluding to when we were talking about the cash flows, because here's the thing. The idea of the funding is to help you make more money. So if your mindset is to get funding to pay bills, we having a bad conversation already. Right. Well, you're having a bad perception of our conversation already, because that's not what that's for. When we talk about loans and funding, the only reason we're doing this is to have a leverage conversation. Because you got to understand, most of us on our side of the tracks, like, we're not trust fund babies. We're building from up under the ground. Okay, we're putting the footers and the foundation to make sure that the walls can stand up on something as we try to build our financial houses for ourselves and the 2 generations that the Bible tells us to build for. So for me, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? The idea of leverage and funding is an end to means to an end. We're not borrowing money just to borrow money to go to Aruba for a month. No, I need to be able to do that kind of stuff off the money that is made from those loans and that leverage.
Yeah.
And so the cash flow conversation is the one that I know we're focused on with our students and our entrepreneurs that we're mentoring and our clients, is to say that, look, you need to be cash flow focused. And what does that look like to make sure you're making more money without sacrificing who you are and and what you're supposed to be doing?
Right. Right. I think that when we look at and when we understand the word leverage, people
Yes.
overuse the two words that I get all the time when someone calls me and they're like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about funding because I want leverage and sustainability." And I'm like, what does that mean to you? Let's
What does
talk
that
about
mean to? Come on, that's a great
let's
question. What
let's
does that
talk
mean
about
to you?
that. Yes, what does that mean to you so that I can
Come on.
understand that one, you understand what that truly is,
Correct.
and what will it take for you to get to those
Correct.
places, because it's available and you can, and then having the conversation around having to make more. I mean, and you're right, sometimes the answer is to make more money. What does that look
Correct.
like for you?
Because the bills are the bills. Like there's a bottom. Like the mortgage is the mortgage. There's a certain amount of gas you got to spend every month, a certain amount of food that you're going to eat. It's a certain amount of stuff that you're going to have to do every month. And at that point, like you can't spend any more or less.
Right. Like you can't. And
Like the bottom is the bottom.
but here's the thing that I found in our entrepreneurial space too, is that for me, I have been working for myself since 2012. Okay.
Wow.
Right. Then it comes that all right, so what are we doing? Am I adding new food? Am I moving into different markets? Do I need to go get a job somewhere? What is it that you need to do? What people don't realize is do what you got to do to get to that next space.
Correct.
Like we focus on if anybody, I could care less if you know. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did maybe right before I went full time, I worked for Capital One.
Okay.
I work for Capital One, but also I don't like going outside, y'all. I was at home. I work from home. Okay. So I work for Capital One from home. And it was my boss at Capital One that said, I know by watching you online that you don't even need to be here no more. You've gotten comfortable with this income. It's time
Wow.
for you to quit. He told me it was time for you to go.
So your boss had to tell you to get out. That's crazy.
Because I was like, it's easy. I can do it. I still got this little change, and I'm, the business is growing and doing well. I mean, I can still make it work. He was like, nah.
Yeah.
He was like, nah. And so,
man, that's crazy.
Those positions that allow you to, what I decided to look at it, the way I looked at it is, I became my own investor.
Yes.
That's how I look at it. I
self-invested.
Right. That's what I decided to do. I became my own investor, and that money from that other job, it paid one bill and the rest of it went to, really funding the business.
Correct.
So.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's talk about how people can reach you. And then listen, y'all, we are moving into a new year. It is time to stop playing with, you're not playing with me. You're not playing with Eddie. You're not playing with customers. You're not playing with social media. You are playing with yourself. Okay.
With yourself. You playing. Stop playing.
Stop playing. and do what needs to be done.
Correct.
What needs to be done. So I know that you and your wife have a mentorship program. Let's talk about that very quickly.
Okay.
And I have the flyer up so people can see the information. Let's go there.
So with Authentic You Empowerment, my wife and I basically wanted to make sure that we had some type of, when you're in the coaching, entrepreneurship, product space, they'll say you have your low ticket item. And so for us, we wanted to create something that we can have high value with low cost, because a lot of people can't afford, couldn't at the time, afford our high cost, higher value type products. So essentially, this mentorship program allows you to get in a space where every week and every quarter, you have a chance to get in a room with my wife and I and our network and our market of entrepreneurs to get in the room, as you would say. And so this mentorship program, for just $35 or $40 a month, whatever the cost is, you're literally able to jump on a Zoom, jump on a call, have access to us and our market, all the information that we're putting out to help people go and grow next level. As I said before, and we're not confused, that it's definitely a Jesus space, but it's a practical applying Jesus space. Like it's a sober Jesus space. It's a healed, whole Jesus space. So, we ain't hooking and bucking on the Zoom.
Tell people it's sober.
We got a problem with that, but we ain't hooking and bucking on the Zoom. We're definitely talking about what it looks like for you to prosper as your soul prosperous. That you're thinker, chooser, your feeler. And so we're having a lot of fun with that. We have testimonials right now, even within our VA Step Up program. We created a VA Step Up program within the real estate industry where we show veterans how to leverage their VA loan to build a real estate portfolio. We had we launched our real estate investing school where we've had our first student this year, as early as 60 or 70 days ago, clear their first 5-figure check from their first deal, which was pretty cool. We've had more than 30% of the entire community get into new homes and better their financial portfolios through life insurance, retirement, increasing efforts, and some of them just raw savings. Like we had one lady a couple years back, literally took some notes from one of our sessions, and she saved $10,000 within 2 months from just a couple of the strategies we employ. So we're helping people reach their goals financially and personally. And so we're excited about that. That link there on the flyer is how you can get enrolled in that. If you need to find me on social media, it's Eddie Crockett or Eddie R. Crockett on Instagram. If you hashtag Bro Finance, BRO Finance, I'm sure you can find me carrying on something. So we're excited. We love doing what we do, and we hope that you can find a way to be a part of that, because there's no need for you to remain the same when you can change and get everything you want.
I love it. I love it. And congratulations on all the success and continue.
Thank you so much.
The success of the people that submit to the process. Let's say
that. Yes.
Those that submit to the process. And I'm excited about the things. You know, we followed each other for years.
And
I'm really excited for you guys. And I know that this is a space where God has placed you in the space where you will continue to flourish. So I'm just excited to watch the process. So listen, guys, as we begin to close up, I am thankful that you guys joined us today, whether you're watching the replay or you watched us live. I thank you. My name is Keandra Ward. I am the founder of the KWI Collective. We're a marketing, public relations, and media space here in Tampa, Florida. And of course, we talk about funding. If you are interested in having a funding conversation in regards to where to go next, always feel free to reach out to us at the KWIfunding.com. I'll put that there. And if you want to know more about marketing, public relations, and media, I have a private Facebook group, which is not paid. It is completely free to find us. It's called the Backstage Pass group here on Facebook, where you can learn everything marketing, public relations, and media. And now, of course, we're adding funding to that space as well. When we talk about funding, some of the things that just to review that Eddie and I can help you with are personal credit, business loans, LLC registration, debt relief, wills and trust, company. If you want to go on company trips, we have some opportunities for that. Mentorship, free mentorship in the space of helping you plan. However, there are paid programs within that as well, membership discounts and more. We are excited to assist you and get you to their next level, but you have to be willing and you have to do the work. The only thing that we can do is provide you with the information and steps, but you have to do the work. So listen, guys, it has been an amazing time. I am excited to connect with you guys. I am excited to share what's next. So let me put Eddie's information up here as well. I'm going to put the banner up one more time. Please reach out to them in regards to their mentorship program. Y'all got it? You got it? And then when you are ready to have that funding conversation, you can go to kwifunding.com, fill out the request, and you can find our calendar to schedule an appointment. All right. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend, because it is Friday, y'all.
It is Friday.
Have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
Right.